Let's go over the review and assessment, page 23, describing motion. What is the SI unit of distance? So remember we talked about SI unit is the metric system. Is it foot, mile, meter, or kilometer? The basic SI unit is actually meter, so that is B. They tried to trick you with this, not kilometer. The basic one is meter, and you can see the root word. Number 2, a change in position with respect to a reference point is, talked about it all chapter, that is motion. Classify. Suppose you are in a train. List some of the objects that make good reference points to determine whether or not the train is moving. Well, you would look out the window and you would see either signs or maybe parked cars. What are some other things that you might see? What's probably standing off a way growing? It might be some trees or plants. Okay? Next one, use this illustration for questions 4 and 5. We want to compare and contrast. Suppose you are standing on the sidewalk. Describe the direction of your motion relative to the car and the plane. So relative to the car and the plane, you appear to be moving. So when this car is heading to the left, you appear to be moving left to right. So you can put that in here. Left to right. Make sure you capitalize and use your punctuation. You appear to be moving from left to right. Next one, number 5. Suppose you are riding in the plane. Describe the direction of your motion relative to the person standing on the sidewalk and in the car. Well, the one standing on the sidewalk relative to the person, you appear to move from right to left. So go ahead and fill that in. Oops. Appear to be moving from right to left. Next one, 6. What quantity can you calculate if you know that a car travels 30 kilometers in 20 minutes? Is it average speed, direction, velocity, or instantaneous speed? If it's 30 kilometers in 20 minutes, you are getting an average speed. 7. On a graph of distance versus time, the slope of the line indicates the blank of an object. So remember, distance versus time, that was speed. It shows the speed of an object. Here, use the graph and show the motion of a remote control car. Use the graph to answer questions 8 and 9. So number 8, during which time period was the car moving the fastest? Well, that is the steepest line. So looking at this, there's 3 different lines. This one, and this one. So from 0 to 4, 4 to 8, and 8 to 12, the steepest one is 0 to 4. Calculate what was the speed of the car during the first 4 seconds. Well, remember we put rise over run. So the rise, or how far did it go up, is 1, 2, 3, 4 meters. So we put 4 meters, and that is divided by the seconds, which is down here. Here's our seconds. And here's our count, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're getting to this point right here, going the other way, divided by 4 seconds. Doing the math on that's kind of easy because it's just 1. 4 over 4 is 1 meter per second. Last question. A family takes a car trip. They travel for an hour at 80 kilometers and then 2 hours at 40 kilometers. Find your average speed during the trip. All right, so you first need to find, what do you know? The first hour, so 1 hour, was at 80. The second hour was at 40. And remember that our equation of average speed is distance divided by time. So we want to know the total distance and divide that by the time. So in order to find the total distance, we need to, we need to calculate in 1 hour, it would go 80 kilometers. In the next one, 2 hours at 40 kilometers. So for each hour, you go 40 kilometers and another 40 kilometers. For the second hour, that would give you a total of 160 kilometers. That's our distance. Okay, and for the time, we calculated 1 hour plus the 2 hours. So the total time is 3 hours. If we take 160 kilometers and divide that by the 3 hours, that will get us hours. That will get us to use our calculator. And they are coming up with 53 repeating. And remember, when we round that, we can just round it to the nearest number that is being used in the equation. So we can just say it's 53. Make sure we get the correct label, which is kilometers per hour. There you have it, page 23.